Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to
Life with Keyne and Malcolm.
So we heard what you had to say,
Yes.
and here we are live. You
Live.
actually see us, not just hear us.
Yeah.
So this is different for us.
Yes.
We're so excited.
So excited.
We are freshly back from our honeymoon. Literally got in
And what a
last
time
night.
it was.
It was amazing. And hopefully you've been following our shorts on YouTube and have been seeing our adventures. It was literally, I can say hands down, the best trip of my life. And surprisingly, when we told people, when they asked us, where are you going for your honeymoon? I think they expected us to say like Bora Bora, Maldives, Fiji. But we said the UK.
Right.
And we got some strange looks.
Right.
Like the UK for your honeymoon?
Even when we were there, while we were there, the folks were like, "Why would you come here?"
Right.
Not just our American friends,
Right.
but folks from the UK. They were like, "You okay with this weather?"
Right.
We actually enjoyed the weather. It enhanced our trip.
Oh, it was amazing.
And so-
Just, to not have the humidity and to be able to breathe. And the air was so fresh. The food was so fresh and amazing. And I know a lot of people hear, London food is bland. But I tell you, we must have picked all the best restaurants.
Yeah.
Because everything we ate was phenomenal. Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, that.
Yes. And when I say the rain enhanced our honeymoon, is because some of the places we went to, like the Lost Garden, the rain enhanced our trip because we walked into the place. It was a jungle. It was a jungle in the Lost Garden. And yes, I did. We did.
I don't know. I think I got us out. I think
whatever.
I think it was you that got us out.
Whatever.
Okay. So, but the reason why, and I think we might have mentioned this before, why did we choose the UK? So the main reason is because our name. So we wanted to do the origin of our first name. So Keyne, there was actually a Saint Keyne in Cornwall, and there's a St. Keyne well. And it was, that experience in and of itself, how it happened. We literally were driving past this well for, I don't know how long. And our driver was amazing.
Yes.
And he was not giving up. He's like, we're going to find your well.
Yes.
And so, but this is the craziest part. So we're driving, he's driving us, we're looking for this well. We're asking these people in their cars, where's the well? Because there's a big sign that says St. Keyne Well. I was just excited about that. Like, my name is on a billboard, basically. And I've never seen my name live like that.
Right.
Like, wow, Keyne. And so we're asking the people, and they're like, it's right there in the corner. And we passed this corner, I can't tell you how many times. And we were like, there's nothing here. So we turn the corner, and here's this man, this older gentleman walking his dog in the rain. It's pouring down rain. It's not like the little Florida drizzle, stop, drizzle.
Right.
No, it's the for real, like, rain.
Yes.
And he's standing there, and he begins to tell us the story of St. Keyne, who came from Wales to Cornwall. Her father was a king and had 3 daughters. And so the daughters, the sons were, of course, to carry on the name, and the daughters were to do missionary work. And so that's a long walk, by the way. It's a long drive.
Right.
So I can't imagine how she walked that far. But she did. She ended up in Cornwall. And this was the crazy part. So her name means healer. And so this well, people would go to the well to get healed. They would drink from the water to get healed. And so when I tell the gentleman who's telling us the story in the rain with the dog that I'm a physician, he's like, oh, stop. No, this cannot be. And so then he proceeds to tell us. So this other story about the well was that people would get married in the church up the hill from the well. And the bride and groom would race to the well, and the one that would drink from the well first wore the trousers
Right.
in the household.
Right.
And so he's like, so then of course we tell them, we just got married, we're newlyweds. He's like, okay, I'm done, stop.
Yeah. He said, let me step back.
Like,
let me step, because we were in the car. So he's like, let me step back right now.
Right now. So So just how all of this happened. Of course, we didn't, run to the well and drink from it.
No, we did not.
One, because there's dead animals now.
Right.
In the well.
Right.
But also, we know who wears the trousers.
Yeah. You do, baby. You do.
I'll tell people, I'm the head, she's the neck. The neck controls the head.
There it is.
At least I know.
At least you know. So anyway, that was just an amazing experience. So of course we find the well, and there was a lot of, live plants that have grown over it. But once you got to it, it was spectacular.
And that made it so much more dramatic.
Oh, it did.
Being that we couldn't find it right away. We couldn't just get right to it.
Yes.
And at one point I was thinking, man, are we going to find this well? Because I knew how important it was to you. And because it was so important to you, it was so important to me. Yes. And so when
there was a lot of similarities between St. Keyne and myself.
Exactly.
Healer, warrior.
Yes.
Just a lot of the things that her name meant. Blessed.
Mm-hmm. Fighter.
Beauty.
Beauty.
I thought you would say that first.
Oh, well, beauty, of course, regal, all that, and then some, for sure.
So it was just remarkable.
Yes.
So then we go to Malcolm's name.
Woo!
Malcolm, which is Scottish.
Yes.
You do look a little Scottish. You should have wore your kilt.
Oh, I should have wore my kilt.
And your little...
And my bag.
Your bag.
Yes, and my bagpipes. I should have bought my bagpipes. I don't have any of that. I do have a little bag, though.
You do have the bag.
I do have the bag. Next
I tried
time.
to get him to get a kilt. He would not do that, but...
Yeah. But the bag, oh yeah, you're going to like the bag.
So Malcolm,
yes.
Scotland. So we went we started in London, went to Stonehenge and then Cornwall. And then we flew to Edinburgh. And from Edinburgh, we then went to Isle of Skye. Oh my gosh.
What a beautiful place.
I've never seen a place more gorgeous.
The scenery, the mountains, the waterfalls.
I mean, everything about this place. And I also have to say the people, everyone we encountered was amazing. So kind, so gracious. I mean, they found out we were married, we were honeymooning. They would give us, free dessert, everything. Yes. Like they were just so kind and so pleasant.
Yes.
And it was an amazing experience. So tell us about Malcolm. Who was Malcolm?
So Malcolm means of royal blood, prosperity. And there were 4 kings named Malcolm, and they made significant changes within.
They pretty much built Scotland.
They did.
King Malcolm,
as a matter of fact, our tour guide remembered them the most and said they're remembered the most for their character and how they did things. And so it was...
And contribution.
Oh, exactly.
Building the country.
Exactly. And it was so good to hear, to experience it, and to walk along walk on the mountains.
Yeah, we did. We walked on the mountain.
And there were a lot of people out. It was scary too because there were 1-lane highways or 1-lane roads, not highways, excuse me, 1-lane roads. Yeah. And then cars were coming at you. It was scary. It was scary.
I was glad we decided not to have you drive.
Oh my goodness. And I'm not even offended by that. And so because that would have been crazy. To do that and to drive on the right side of the road. So it was such an amazing experience, and I'm so grateful that I was able to share that with you. It was a special honeymoon. It was a memorable experience. And like you said, the people, absolutely amazing. They treated us exceptionally well. And they knew about our honeymoon because they overheard us talking about it with our with the waiter, or when we went to the hotel, we were talking about it. And so we would go share our story with them. And every time someone else overheard us, next thing you know, we had got dessert, or they bought this one couple. They met us. We were eating in a hotel, And
we're really drinking because you like honey in your tea.
Yes,
and that
this is-
apparently isn't
that's-
something
yes.
that the Brits do. They
Yes.
do not put honey in their tea. So she's like, honey and tea?
Yes.
Am I supposed to put it in my coffee too?
right.
We're like, oh, wow.
And to us, we're like, hold on, this is what we do
Right,
all the
right,
time.
right.
Honey and tea. You can't have tea without honey.
Right.
And so we were out and about touring, and when we came back, we went to our room and found this fudge on our bed. The couple, they wrote us a note on a card and said honey and tea and
Coffee and fudge.
Yeah. So that
it
was
was
really
really
nice.
sweet. It was
Yeah.
really, and they didn't even have our names. It was just like, to the couple we met this morning at breakfast. And that was truly special. So here we are.
We are.
Back at the grinds again.
Yes, wow.
So we enjoyed our balance.
Yes,
right?
we did. What a honeymoon. What a honeymoon.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so we last left you off talking about the who and how.
Yes.
And the how and the who.
That's right.
Tell us more. What
So
you think about that?
when we talk about the how and the who, like for us in our marriage, in our relationship, before marriage, a lot of folks were focused on how it happened and wow, this happened so quick, and he just showed up, or she didn't give him enough time to grieve, and how did this come about? There must have been something that they did. Malcolm must have did something outside of his marriage before Wanda passed away, and Keyne, she just came right on in. They were focusing on the how, which they made up their own how, actually. They made when our relationship was built on purity, on love, on a firm foundation, Jesus Christ. And there was nothing impure about our relationship at all. But because folks didn't understand it, they couldn't relate to it, there had to be something wrong.
Right.
Instead of them focusing on who brought us together, which is our relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, God put us together. And so because our foundation wasn't based on how you look, how I look, although, as I said before, you are super fine. You absolutely blow my mind. I am completely satisfied.
How could I not? Like, you hear these kind of things. How could I not?
Absolutely, and you shall hear them forever.
The who.
The who, yeah, the who. So
Brought me to you.
The who brought us together.
Yeah.
And the one thing that's so beautiful about our relationship, or one of the things, is because you love the Lord more than you love me, and I love the Lord more than I love you, He keeps that foundation strong. He helps us to weather any storm, any challenges, the naysayers, because we know beyond a shadow of a doubt who brought us together.
It's been 13 days.
It's been
that
13
we've been
dain
married.
Baby, they said we wouldn't make it, baby.
Here we are.
And here we are. We put the run. We in there, baby. We're in there. Don't leave me hanging.
Sorry,
All right,
like time to go. Yeah.
So,
Forever.
but yeah, this is so important. But it's not just who in romantic relationships.
Right.
But anytime you're ready to step out of the boat, no matter what that is, if it's new business venture, a new house, something that is actually
May not even make sense to you right away.
and I was about to say, it's not normal to you, but this is what I'm supposed to do in life. I don't know how it's going to happen,
Right.
when it's going to happen exactly.
Right.
I don't even see myself as really having the ability and the capabilities to do all that I see, but I know I have to go for it.
That's it.
I know I have to go do it because He is telling me, because the Lord is
don't
putting
take
that
no
on the
for an
inside of me.
answer.
Don't take no. Because no matter what, if I don't do it, I'm not going to truly live.
Right.
And I'm not going to truly give everything that I need to give and what I'm created and designed to give, because here I am sitting back. First of all, I'm afraid of myself. I'm afraid of what because all my mind, as we know, the mind is the battlefield. So all these thoughts are in my mind that's keeping me making me feel inadequate, making me feel like I'm worthy of this. I can't. I've never seen anybody do this before in my family or anything like that. And then now I got other people telling me too, you can't or you shouldn't or it's too fast or it's too quick. But when I say yes, when I actually absolutely rest in the history that I have with the Lord, recognizing, okay, he brought me through this, he'll definitely take me through that. And then I just take my hands off, and then I place my faith and my hope in him.
And I think one of the things that we always say is, you only fail when you don't try.
Yeah.
That's the only time you fail.
Yeah.
If you try, you've already succeeded. You've gotten further than, most people have, because you tried. You said yes. And, even when I look back at just my journey and becoming a neurosurgeon and that whole process and hearing the naysayers, hearing, people telling me, oh, it's too hard, you can't do it. And, just all of that, and that I wouldn't be able to achieve it. I stayed focused on what I had already heard, which was my father saying, you sure can. I was focusing on who said I can, not how I'm going to get there, how it's going to happen, how it's going to, manifest. I wasn't focused on that. I was just focused on, I sure can, and I'm going to do it, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm not backing down.
And that's powerful. That's so powerful, because all the words that were in your head, what stuck out the most is what your father said.
Yes.
And that kept you.
Yes.
It kept you no matter what happened, because you shared with us before about how professors or other folks tried to discourage you from fulfilling your dream or going after your dream.
Yeah.
But you heard your dad say, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And that's what our Heavenly Father says.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
You can do all things
Absolutely.
through me who gives you strength.
Yes.
So, yes, you can. That should be it. There should be nothing else in your head. And when things try to creep in, you put that yes, you can back in. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do it. Won't take no for an answer. There is no no. And we actually just saw a movie recently on the plane.
Yes.
Where it was called Original Angels. Was it Original Angels?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, with I believe it was Hilary Swank was in it. True story, and it was amazing to see this woman, and she would not take no for an answer, and she went before CEOs of hospitals and CEOs of big industries to get what she needed to help save this little girl's life who needed a liver transplant. And it was just, when you were talking about, you might not see yourself in certain places, in certain arenas. You might be like, I'm not worthy to be here. She wasn't even focused on that. She wasn't focused on how she was dressed. She was going before a CEO of a hospital and was dressed like she normally dresses when she was a hairdresser.
Right.
And how she normally dressed. She wasn't fancy. There was nothing fancy about her. She came as she was, and she was determined. I'm not taking no for an answer, and I'm walking away from here with what I know I need to help this little girl. And that is how we should all be, no matter what we look like, no matter what we have on. That we should feel like I can go in any place, any arena, because I'm equipped to do so.
And she said she had these voices in her head constantly telling her who she wasn't or what she couldn't do. These voices were in her head telling her that she was unworthy because she was an alcoholic, but she wanted to change her story.
And she came from an alcoholic. Apparently her mother too was an alcoholic.
That's right.
And so she didn't even have that solid foundation, home life, where she was raised by two parents and all of that. I mean, she was, she was already beating the odds just by surviving, as you did, her home life, her home situation.
And this one woman, so powerful. You have to watch this movie. This one woman, she was able to get 5 private jets. She was able to get a helicopter. So we don't want to say too much more
And
because
the hospital bills. That was really powerful. We won't tell you all of that.
Woo!
But you got to watch it.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'm just leave it like that.
You get so much.
Yes.
So much from it, and you'll understand kind of what we are saying.
And you'll see yourself in that.
You'll
see yourself because
but
no matter
say,
what,
I won't take no
for an answer. And no matter what, you stop looking at yourself, your circumstances, your situation, or how it's always been done. To say, you know what? No, I'm going to step out of this boat. I'm going to walk on this water. I'm going to step out and do what's in me to do. I think about Star Trek, to boldly go where no one has gone before. I used to love Star Trek too. So yeah, it's so important to just be like, you know what? No matter what, no matter who's for you or who's against you, you have to know. Now, I do believe the Bible talks about in the multitude of counselors, there's wisdom. So there is a time to receive that wisdom and talk to folks. And I do believe sometimes folks are right when they're saying warning, warning, warning about him or her. But sometimes they're not right. You know, sometimes the people are right when they say warning, warning, warning. Maybe you shouldn't venture off to that. Or maybe you shouldn't venture off to this. Sometimes there's some wisdom in that. But then there's sometimes it's for selfish reasons. It's selfish gain, or it's their own fear. And so they're putting down their fear on you. So you have to be able to rightly divide what is good and what isn't good. Whatever is good, you chew on that. Whatever isn't good, you spit out those bones. But you do have to be in a place where you're at peace and you're listening. But at the same time, you have to make sure at the end of the day, Lord, I hear what these folks are saying, but what are you saying?
Yeah,
what do you say?
Agree. So we are now a family of 8.
Woo!
Family of 8.
Lord, thank you. I won't say have mercy. I'll just say thank you.
Thank you. I love big families. It's awesome, and I love what we have. I love how we have blended.
Yes.
And you know that's not easy having a blended family.
Yeah.
And how we have navigated our blended family. I know we're running out of time here. Don't want to go too long.
Right.
But we do kind of want to hit on some things, and I think by the way, this is our last episode of the season, of season 1.
Yes.
But season 2 is coming out.
Yes.
And we will get into more of the blended family, more of our Brady Bunch.
Yes. We are the Black Brady Bunch. Indeed.
But we do want to share, and this is with blended families, non-blended families, the position of the children. Where are the children positioned in your family?
Right.
And so do you want to kind of talk about the illustration that we watched as far as where the children are positioned?
Absolutely. So I believe the pastor's name is Pastor Fernandez, and he did this illustration about he had this couple and their children come up on the pulpit area. And he asked them to come up in the pulpit area, hoping that they would do this. And what they did was, when they went up on the pulpit, the children were in the middle of the parents.
Well, he called up the mom.
Yep.
He called up the dad.
Yep.
And then he called up the children.
Yep.
And they put the children in between them.
Yes.
I mean, the children didn't automatically go there.
Right.
The parents actually put them in between.
Right.
And
so he said, this is exactly what I was hoping you would do. And then what he wound up doing was he put the children on the outside of the parents and brought the parents together. And the whole part of the illustration, or the importance of that, I thought you were trying to hold my hand.
I always try to hold your
hand.
hand.
Appreciate that.
I didn't want you to keep hitting that.
Oh, thank you, baby. We had a moment just now. Okay, so, but what he was doing was saying, it's important for your children to see mom and dad together. and the children should not divide the parents. It's not the kids and mom and dad, but it's mom and dad and the kids.
Right. They add on.
Exactly.
And that's the position of the children. They add on to our families. They add on to our relationship, but they don't come in between our relationship. And so that's the important thing. And even when it comes to discipline or it comes to making decisions, we can't have it where they come between our relationship. But we have to make sure this stays together.
Absolutely.
And on one accord. And so the kids know, okay, this isn't, I have mom and I can ask her and she might say yes, or I have dad and I can ask him, but they see us as one. They see us as one unit.
Right.
And so they know, okay, I have to get mom's approval and dad's approval.
Right.
I have to, go to mom and to dad.
Right.
And not just one or the other, and play them against each other. And I think also with blended families, it's easier to do because it can be like, well, you're not my mom, well, you're not my dad.
Right.
And so how do you work through that? Well, you let them know, like you always say, right away, this is how it is. We are now one.
And I've said to people, and every time I say this, some people are right on board with me, but some folks look at me crazy. And that is, I say, Keyne comes first. My gift, she is first. Children are not neglected. Children are absolutely loved. But she is first. In some households, it's like, oh, it's all about the kids. My kids come first because, and what we hear is, well, she can leave or he can leave. What I say is, they're going to leave. Those kids are going to leave.
Right.
And if this isn't intact,
Right.
then you'll get to the point where it's like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Because your life revolved around the children. Now, of course, we do a lot with our kids. All of our kids are in sports or acting or dancing, singing, something going on. But we don't neglect each other.
Right.
Because I put you first, I ensure that you are pleased. I ensure that you are well, that our relationship is grounded, that is stable, that you're happy. By me doing that, I'm showing to the girls and I'm showing to our sons how to treat a woman, and for our girls, how they should be treated.
Absolutely.
How they should be treated. Because if they see me, not just by what I say, but my actions, how I live, and how I go about my day-to-day life with you, then it's going to change their thinking, or excuse me, it's going to help their thinking when it comes to their relationship. They're not just going to settle for any old thing because they say, oh, this is how mom is. This is how dad is. I think that's so important. If we keep putting the kids first, then eventually all you're living for them and you're not living for each other. So we live for each other and we live for our kids.
And I think it's also important, especially with what I do, when we talk about, okay, the kids are definitely going to leave. Well, there are some situations where, you have a medically needy child. That may never leave home.
Right.
And so, how do those parents navigate keeping their relationship, especially when you have a sick child?
Yeah.
Or, like I said, a medically needy a child that needs a lot of medical attention.
Yeah.
And what I have noticed is, a lot of times I'll just see mom bringing the child, or, dad's working and mom's bringing the child. But I would say to those parents, yes, of course, you have the bills. There has to be someone working. But to take some time to talk to each other, communicate with each other, making sure that the child's needs are met, but also asking the other person, are your needs being met?
Absolutely.
Because even though that mom may not be physically working outside the home, that's a lot of work. And that's as any stay-at-home mom. But when you have a child with medical needs, with certain medical needs, and some more than others, and having to go to doctor's appointment after doctor's appointment, it is very taxing and very draining. And yes, that dad going to work is very taxing and very draining. So I think it's important that you talk about it and say, okay, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need me to go to the doctor's appointment one time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it is important to kind of do that together.
Yeah.
And to seek maybe resources
Mm-hmm.
of someone coming in to help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some type of nursing resources, and there's a lot of things in the communities where you might can maybe drop the child off for an hour, just to have some together time, or maybe when you put the child down, you know, maybe having some alone time together.
Right.
But again, that child should still be adding on to you, and you know, I say a lot of my children who do have various needs, various medical long-term kind of medical issues, just their smile alone, there's always something that child adds to me, adds to my life, my patient adds to me, and they may not even be able to say a word or to talk, but to see them and to see their smile and just their presence, it really does bless me. And so I know that child has added to that family in some form or fashion, even to look at life as, you know, anything can happen, but still to see the good in everything. And it's just, you know, but still keeping your relationship together
absolutely.
and intact.
I encourage every male, every man, to make sure that you're doing your part. You know, as a father, I always would check in with the schools, because I wanted, first of all, those teachers to know that these kids have a father. And I also would go to the doctors with the kids, because, again, I wanted the doctors to know, the nurses to know they have a father. And sometimes when I would go to those doctor's appointments, they would look at me like, "Where's the mom?" I'm like, "Dad got this today. I got this." And actually, I set the appointments. I went to the doctors. I went to the schools. Simply, I wanted to have that presence, but I also wanted to make sure that I wasn't out here conquering the world and losing my family.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we will talk more about the blended family.
Yes.
About our family.
We got to talk about Anthony too. Anthony, the driver.
Anthony,
our Uber driver.
Oh, yes. That was
So
a great
next time,
story.
yeah.
Yeah. That was a great story. So anyway, we have so much to share in
Yes.
season 2. We're going to have other couples on,
Yes.
Other experts on. We're excited about where this is going.
Very excited.
And thank you. We want to thank you guys.
Thank you
so much for being a part of this. Anything else, Steve?
I think that's it for today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Life
With Keyne and Malcolm.
Bye
Bye for now.